Remove. Okay, X doesn't work. Stuff that. Remove X. It's okay. Save. Oh. Okay.
This is Jed McKay, and you're listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast.
Yes, welcome back, loony listeners. You are listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast. This is episode 353, and the High Priests have returned. Rebecca,
Together.
hello. Yes,
Hello.
together.
Getting the gang back together.
Oh, it's been a while, and
Yeah.
I feel good. I feel revitalized. Rebecca, I feel resurrected. I feel like
I mean, how
has...
fitting. Like, this seems like this is what we have you for.
Yes, I feel rejuvenated. Thank you, listeners. A fantastic episode by Rebecca 352. Previously, go check it out if you haven't as well. Rebecca was flying the copter solo, and Rebecca, geez, you did both issues 7 and 8 by yourself, which was amazing because there's so much in there.
And we're gonna find Ray's thoughts on them because they were a big deal issue. I mean, like, I may have said that there wasn't a huge amount of story in them, but they had some really big moments. And so, Ray, what did you think? What were your highlights of the 2 issues? Let's just do highlights because, I said, they're not massive on story. We know Khonshu's been released. We know Mark's resurrected. So what else stood out for you?
Oh, issue 7 definitely was. We won't dwell on this, listeners, but it was the return of Khonshu. That was just amazing. Like, and I mean that in the artwork of Cappuccio's and Rochelle Rosenberg. It was just monumental. Like, they brought that kind of epicness to Khonshu returning. I felt in both the splash pages and just the way he was drawn. It was so good. Also, again, no spoilers, of course. Rebecca, you spoke about it last episode, but the Wrecker I thought was very cool. I mean,
I liked him. Jed's quite at home with these small time villains, right?
Yeah, but
and we see more of that with I think phases. Well, that's not Jed, but like we see more of that side with Jed with
Yeah, but it was great. I mean, but it made sense as well as Guardian Magic with the Wrecker and him having, I mean, of all things, a crowbar to just pry it open.
Yeah,
it was so cool. And I guess it was just the art. I was just flummoxed by that. I mean, there were a lot of hero shots just towards the end there where the team are back together. Yeah, it was really good. A couple of hero shots because I'm kind of mixing them up because issue 8 was good as well.
Yeah.
I spoke to you just before we started the show. I was really pleasantly surprised with the art again. I thought,
yeah. When we weren't sure when we were getting, you're never sure when you're getting a new artist, and we've had such a standard run of like artists, so it's suddenly getting someone new in the mix. But I agree. I thought it was very good.
Yeah, and totally respect. I believe it was Mario who sent in some comments about how like he much preferred Alessandro's, and of course, they are different, but I felt issue 8 was really good.
I've seen stand-in artists that have been a lot more jarring in almost every other run than Moon Knight. I think we've been extremely lucky with all of our stand-ins, even though Jed goes back to the same ones, which is good. So hopefully, gives us a bit of time to get used to them as well.
Yeah, and absolutely. Oh, sorry, Rebecca, I did forget. And one of your favorite bits of issue 7 was reunion.
I was gonna.
Yeah.
Trust me, you would have been pulled up on it as a unromantic. If you didn't mention that, I was just waiting to see if the trap that was laid.
But no, I did like it, and you mentioned it again, obviously in your recap. I loved how kind of he unmasked himself, just so everyone knows that we're not dealing with another kind of hoax. It is Mark, and so it's just comforting. It was really comforting to know that wow, he's back. And I mean, we knew this, of course, as well in Fist of Khonshu, or it was spoiled in Blood Hunt.
But we
But
guessed it was
yeah,
going to happen. I mean, like
yeah,
at the minute we know that if Khonshu's released, he'll be able to resurrect again. So I mean, like
yeah,
I think we were fairly sure it was going to happen, but
yeah.
it doesn't mean it's not. I think it was done really nicely that you still were excited for it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it didn't take anything like away, like
Hmm.
in the moment when you're kind of reading issue 7, it didn't take anything away from it because, like, yeah, it was just really nice. And issue 8, um, Reese and Soldier, I think they were really good. It was good to kind of get their kind of perspective, and we got a bit of the vampire battles and stuff. But what was the big highlight there? Uh, there was a 8 ball at the end was pretty funny. Like
April and Mark was very sweet as well.
yeah,
I mean, you know,
he was sweating. He was sweating bullets, going like,
he
"Oh, I'm
was
on the someone
worried
help!"
about what was going to happen. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
No, yeah,
Dr. Sturman giving
mhm.
Soldier and Risa blood was
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
sensible though, right? Let's say she's
Sensible.
still established as the pragmatic one amongst the
Yeah.
team.
Oh, yeah, she is,
Um,
and I really enjoyed how Mark said, although we don't have to have these sessions, it was never about the Avengers long ago, and I'll, happy to
yeah,
continue them. So that's good to know because we're going to get that sort of narrative, hopefully, in future runs as well. But yeah, really, really good. I mean, nothing I can't say that you've already covered, Rebecca, because again, very thorough. And again, go check it out, Loonies, if you haven't already.
yeah.
But Rebecca,
Apologies that it was a solo, but we didn't want to keep people
no,
waiting too long, you know. So
yeah, no, I think it was perfectly done, and can't wait to go into like another, shall I say, phase, Rebecca.
yeah,
Rebecca,
you should.
bef-
You absolutely should.
I just, it's kind of made for it.
Yeah.
But I'll hold the reins there just for a second. Any white noise, Rebecca? I don't know. I haven't been checking myself. I've been catching up on
Um,
comics, but anything that
there's a stupid rumor about Marvel wanting Moon Knight to or Daredevil to meet Moon Knight in live action.
oh
But I mean, it's one of
oh
these, like we get these rumors all the time in the same
yeah
way as, like so that it's not come from anywhere
yeah
respectable, anywhere
okay.
that's likely to have an inside um, you know,
Is
tip
that the
on it.
same
It's
sort?
more wishful thinking. I think now we have Daredevil born again
Yeah.
on the horizon.
hmm And is there any is that from the same source that there have been speculations about Moon Knight in Secret Wars? Again, is that just a wishful thinking thing?
I'm
But
fairly certain that's just wishful
yeah,
thinking. I mean, look, I
okay,
mean, based on how Marvel do things, based on the stories of Secret Wars, like whichever version of Secret Wars you take, it's a
yeah,
good call, right? I mean that's
yeah,
I think what these rumor accounts do is they make educated guesses and then pretend they were right and they had this inside thing. But
yeah,
like I mean, we could all make similar inside guesses, and I would say we have as much chance of being right.
yeah. No, fair enough.
Um, so like we can see it happening, right? Could absolutely
Yeah,
see Moon Knight in Secret Wars. We could see him meeting up with Black Knight. We could see him
yeah.
any of the street level characters. Currently, that's Daredevil's got the big up and comer. We'll just see. I mean,
What?
until you will either get firm news about it or we won't. So
True. I mean, what's your take then? Your opinion on Oscar Isaac returning? I mean, I know you can ask any actor to come back if you have a big enough bag of cash, but I don't know. What do you think? I tend to think that he's happy to kind of keep Moon Knight
he
as
seems
separate
to
and
like it. He seems to
yeah,
like it. I guess. I mean, we know he only had the contract for the first one, which is,
mm,
I think, important to remember. But I do think he liked the character. But
okay,
I think that might mean that if they suggest something stupid for it, I mean, he's coming back for What If, right?
yeah,
So that's actually apparent. I don't know if that was a rumor account, but that seems extremely likely because
c-
voice acting,
yes,
he can do it from home if he needs to.
yeah,
Um, I would hope that if it was a terrible new version of the character, he would say no.
mm,
I think when you have someone like Oscar Isaac and you're gonna have to fit in with other scheduling, Hopefully that means they keep the quality high. And I know some people didn't like it.
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, fingers crossed. I'd still love to see more from him, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see more from like beyond what if in the animated kind of world. I mean, as well. I really am enjoying the Marvel animated stuff, and
I mean, I don't really like. I'm not a massive fan of What If, but I've liked the odd episode. So
yeah, I haven't finished season 2, but what I've seen so far, like I've really enjoyed it. It's something that's kind of like more of I think a curiosity for me, Rebecca. It's
that's fair.
yeah, when you're in it, like there was one with the is it the Grandmaster and Iron Man, like him
Yeah,
going,
I like that
yeah,
one, and I
that was
like
like really cool.
I like
Yeah,
the medieval one, the 1603.
you see, I haven't seen
And
that one yet.
yeah, I
Yeah,
like that one. I liked so season 1 didn't have any Iron Man in, so like you can already
mm.
see where my bias is coming. And I thought they were. I don't. It's really hard to phrase this, but I don't dislike Captain Carter per se.
Mm.
I just think they did an extremely lazy origin for her.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
as in, they literally gave her exactly the same Steve thing. But then instead of letting her be this superhero on her own, they had Steve as the Hydra Stomper. And I'm like, well, if she's Captain America level, she doesn't need that. And it
Mhm.
just everything about it kept like annoying me. And then
Mm.
just the fact that they shoved her in everything after that, as if she was the
Yeah,
most popular character. And I was like, I don't like her. You kept killing Tony.
yeah,
Season 1 did not win me over. Season 2, I like more. But
yeah.
you know.
I would agree. And because I didn't, what I didn't like from What If the first season was how they connected everything. Like I thought that was completely unnecessary.
It was
I thought like
really unnecessary. Yeah.
yeah, like the What Ifs are all about like one and dones, like one
Yeah,
offs,
I want
and
them to go wilder with it, like the
yeah,
current ones they're doing in the comics, which are hilarious. Like, what if Donald Duck picked up Thor's hammer? I mean, it's genuinely funny, right? When
yeah,
Disney owns both, it's like, and the next one is, what if Minnie was Captain Marvel? Like, I'm not saying that I'm going to buy and read them, but at least that
yeah.
gives me a giggle of like, that's. But some of the old what ifs, like, what if Tony Stark was Sorcerer Supreme?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, what if the Punisher became Venom? Like
yeah,
that
yeah,
sort of stuff. It was really
I mean, I think you could see like what if Captain America joins Hydra. You can see that in
Mm,
Secret Empire, but like
yep,
that, like what you really want them to be is where there's one change and that affects everything. Like,
yeah,
you don't want there to be one change, which is, oh, Peggy takes the serum and then the exact same story plays
mm,
out.
yeah.
Because it just feels lazy.
That's right.
So,
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean,
but I think
sure,
they did do better in season 2, and hopefully
yeah.
we get Moon Knight. So I know that there are people concerned that they might do what if Moon Knight didn't have DID? What if Moon Knight,
Oh,
like
okay. I hadn't
I
even considered what they'd do, but yeah.
I've seen some conversation about it, whether it was on the
Mhm,
page or on Discord or on Twitter generally. I think it may have been on Twitter generally. I just don't see them doing that. I
mm.
literally don't see that. I think they could do something funny, like what if he was American? Like, which of course the American, like, he is in like
Yeah.
within the context of I don't know what if he was
That'd be interesting. I don't know what they'd
resurrected
do.
by a Roman god, like
Yeah.
I think we're talking more that than changing, because the DI that would be controversial, right? If you either made him,
Mm,
like, what if he was Muslim? What if he
mm,
was, and I say that because of what if he was Christian might not change that much. What if
mm.
he was Muslim? What if he was didn't have DID? Don't see them going there.
What
But
if,
what
if
I think they might go for the other gods would be quite interesting.
well,
Um,
what if Ethan Hawke, what was his character again? Arthur? Harrow or
yeah,
something? What if he
Harrow,
became Moon
yeah,
Knight? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I
That'd
mean,
be
what if Layla became Moon Knight?
yeah. Yeah.
Like, they've got some interesting ones there. So you know, I
Yeah.
mean, look, they've done some terrible things before. If it happens, we will absolutely
Yeah.
slag them off
Oh,
about it.
absolutely.
So,
Purely
like,
objective.
we will write in complaints. I wrote in a
Yeah.
complaint to Marvel about something, and I don't even remember what now. But I wrote a complaint the
Oh,
other week.
good.
What did I last hate about Marvel? Who knows? But I wrote in a complaint, man.
Yeah, no, the digital stuff. Would it be that?
No, it wasn't. It was
No,
something
was it?
way
No.
stupider than that. Yeah.
Okay. Because I think that's stupid. I mean, just
It is stupid.
that kind of
Oh,
for those
I
that,
know what it was about. I know what it was about.
yeah.
It was about Iron Fist's anniversary issue.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That's well found. I mean, well justified as well. Oh, we've got. Oh, I forgot to mention, listeners, podcast listeners, you are listening to a live stream. I mean, not in real time. Rebecca and I are live streaming now, so people can tune in and say hello. We've got someone here, Wayne. Wayne,
Yeah,
I'm
nice.
I'm all in on Howard the Duck Moon Knight. Yeah, do that,
Yeah. Oh,
Wayne.
that would be amazing. I
Wayne
mean, like
loves
that would be like
Wayne
such a
loves
thing
Howard
for
the Duck.
our particular podcast, right? Because we have the,
Yeah, exactly.
like, yeah, because we have the Howard fans.
Yeah.
That would be very funny.
Got the Pet Avengers and Howard the Duck, like Moon Knight as well. That'll be good. No, thank you, Wayne. Always good to good to hear from you. I know Wayne's a big fan of. I think you like all of them, right? But Chip Zdarsky one was pretty funny.
Oh, it was great.
Yes. So yeah, Rebecca. Sorry, I lost the train of thought there. You wrote an angry letter.
I didn't write an angry letter. I wrote a letter expressing that I did not think that was a suitable thing to do in a 50th anniversary issue.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I was really put off by that, and yeah, I wanted to explain for listeners who don't know. I mean,
well, we can explain very quickly for people who don't know. The
Yeah.
Iron Fist had its 50th anniversary this year.
Mhm.
They just did an anniversary issue. Got a lot of the creators who've written Iron Fist before. Great series of things, and in the final story, killed Danny.
Yes, and further to that, the
And
whole last page
and had a
thing.
QR code where
Yeah.
you scanned and got this hint that he's coming back, but maybe as a bad guy.
This reeks of Scarlet Spider and Chasm all over, Rebecca.
Yeah.
Like, for anyone that wants to hear my views on Scarlet Spider, because I like the character as well, and he's been done dirty. It's exactly the same, but to a bigger character, dare I say, in Iron Fist. So
I mean,
yeah.
look, I and many Iron Fist fans are totally up for changing of the guard.
But yes.
But I just don't feel this is the way to celebrate a 50th anniversary. And I really hate the reveal being behind a QR code that's not the end for Danny. And I think that was what I was writing about, is like the QR code. So you weren't wrong. That the QR code wrong is not the way to do that. In between, the other stories were great. I mean, I'm still mad at Marvel they didn't do a Luke Cage 50th. When they did a Howard the Duck one. I think that's pretty disrespectful. I mean, Howard the Duck did deserve one, but I think Luke Cage also deserved one. So we will see.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, Rebecca and I, we aren't all sunshine and roses.
No, if they do anything mean to Mark, we'll be up there,
Exactly. And speaking of which, Rebecca, we do have, I haven't even mentioned what we're doing a moonshine. Let me find out. Where's this banner gone? We're doing a moonshine, people. And of course, we'll be doing have I got that right? It's Phases of the Moon Knight, or just Phase of the Moon Knight? Phases of the Moon Knight, Volume 1, Issue 1. And I've got a little funky little roller here. There we go. So it's an anthology of sorts. It's 2 stories. We'll go through it. Yeah. How about, shall we just hop in now, Rebecca? Shall we do that?
Yes, but I don't think we talked about issue 8 with you, so we'll do that afterwards.
No.
We'll do that
okay.
afterwards.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
okay.
All right.
Let's do this moonshine. Yes, so we are looking at, I'm going to pull this up as well. We are looking at Phases of the Moon Knight, Issue 1. A great cover here, Rebecca, of the 2 different Moon Knights on offer. And I've only just noticed, because I've, all the phases of the moon in the background.
Yeah.
And it's got some sort of longitude, latitudinal readings or something I can see there, or compass.
Compass readings.
Compasses, at the top. And then you got huge conchu at the back as well. And the Crusader's sitting on his head, or standing on his head.
Yeah, that's quite funny.
But the art is fantastic, I've
Yeah.
got to say. And let me just see if I can find the credits here. I'm going to start with the art, the cover art. Andre Brisson and Ceci de la Cruz. Then you have Derek Chu and Rod Reyes with the design. And
Makes
Stephanie
sense.
Hans. These are the variant cover arts. Oh, sorry. And what we just saw, for those that are looking at the video and have the comic, Matthias Manhanini. Fantastic.
Oh
Fantastic,
yeah.
Matthias.
Yeah, I really like
Sorry, I've stuffed it up. Sorry, Manhanini. Yeah, very, very good. Very good.
Mhm.
So yeah, as I mentioned, Rebecca and everyone, an anthology, 2 stories. This actually surprised me, Rebecca. They were 2 kind of full stories. Like, it didn't
Yeah.
seem like they were
Yeah.
just 2 short stories.
I think what surprised me was that
Mm.
one of them is very closely tied into what's going on in the main run, and feels like maybe we should have got it in the main run as a backup.
Yes.
Like, I mean, I think it's fair that we're all buying all these things, and if you weren't buying this in singles, you'd probably buy it in trade if you're a big Moon Knight fan. But yeah, I think I was expecting it to be more like Moon Knight, Black, Red, and Black, White, and Blood.
Yep.
Like, where they were all very standalone. And this time, I mean, I think maybe the rest of them will be very standalone. I think this first story, The Once and Future Night, is important enough that I would have liked to see it in the main run. But I do like it.
Yeah, we'll get into both of them as well. Yeah, I'm very interested to hear your thoughts on both, Rebecca. The first one, Once and Future Night. Friend of the show, Erica Schultz is a writer. Manuel Garcia is penciler. Sean Parsons the inker, and Ceci de la Cruz is the color artist. I was very impressed with the art. I thought that was
Yeah,
really
I
good.
loved it.
And we've got another friend of the show. Crusader is the second story. Benjamin Percy on writing duties, and Rod Reyes, one of the very first creators, Rebecca, that contributed to ITK early on.
Cool.
So very, very happy to see Rod Reyes is still in the mix with Moon Knight.
It does a really great job.
Does a fantastic job. VC is Corey Pettit as letterer, and we have Devin Lewis, of course, taking the reins as the editor for Moon Knight. Now, Rebecca, I guess, I don't know, how should we do this? Should we just go through the first one quickly?
Yeah.
How, in a nutshell, kind of what would you
So, in a
summarize?
nutshell, this explains how the Shroud became Moon Knight while Mark was dead. And it's quite a touching little story. Like, he's gone to speak to Mark for help about redemption. Mark doesn't answer the door, but not because he's rude. He says, "I'm sure somebody else will answer it." But in that time, Max Coleridge changes his mind, walks off, decides to prove his worth by taking on the Moon Knight mantle, and takes it out on some of his old night shift buddies. And then by the end, you can see how he's going a bit too far in the exacting of justice, as in being a little bit preemptive justice or judgy justice. And that's where we kind of pick up on the why he wasn't a good Moon Knight replacement.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, and what did you make of this? Like, first impressions for this story?
I thought it was interesting and very much. I mean, I was so first of all, I was very glad that Erica got to write it.
Yeah, I like Erica. Right.
I think she's a great writer for Moon Knight. Like I've already said, I think this was an important story for the continuity that wouldn't have fit in with the deadlines Jed had to fit in Blood Hunt, I think. So like that's why we got maybe some of this condensed. I like that it hints to me that Erica is our second go-to Moon Knight writer.
Yeah.
By doing a sort of current continuity story. I mean, is it weird that Mark didn't answer the door? No, somebody else should have answered it. Is it weird that Max turned around so quickly? No, we've all written emails and wanted to delete them straight away. I mean, we've all I thought it was very good. I liked some of the paneling. I liked how much story got into it. I think, as you were saying before, and it's always cool to see Night Shift, right? In this run,
Oh yeah,
they're very thematically present through this run as well.
yeah,
So it all just seemed to fit really well.
yeah. Yeah, I
So
mean,
yeah.
Night Shift, Tatterdemalion. To me, Tatterdemalion, and I think the Digger are very
Yeah,
synonymous
I mean,
with
it's
Night
just
Shift.
crazy.
Yeah, I share a lot of your views there, Rebecca. I thought, and look, I love Erica's work. I think this is very solid as a story as it goes. I felt it. It, oh no, I was just wanting it to dig a little bit deeper into why Max and like why he turned, like why he decided to like become Moon Knight, and then how it kind of
I
escalated.
mean, why he decided to be Moon Knight is the interesting one. But like,
Yeah,
I don't know if they can explain it like
because it was
feasibly.
only it was only really kind of touched upon where, let me see if I can get the, oh, I can't get the, come on, where it's kind of like he turns away from the Midnight Mission and just goes, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna show him how good I can be or whatever, and that was kind of, unless I'm mistaken, that was the reason. I'm just trying
That
to
seemed
find
to
it here.
be. Yeah, I think it is. He's proving himself to Moon Knight. Yeah,
It's a
who
huge
knows?
turn. I mean, like
It
I
is a
wanted
big
to
turn.
learn, yeah, I wanted to learn more about that. You know why, like, and then how it evolved into him like emulating Moon Knight, like because you could come up with ideas of like, yeah, I'm going to show him how good I'm worth, and like I'm actually a good person, and all that. But then why take up the look of Moon Knight? And yeah, we did that couple
I
of
guess
shows.
the missing bit is that Moon Knight is dead at that time, or like
Yeah,
dies between that first interaction or
and
non-interaction second.
yeah, and then he must have come to this epiphany of, okay, maybe I take his
Maybe I should.
identity.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
and
I'm
I'd love to have
guessing
seen.
that's the illusion.
Yeah.
Posh
Well,
words
yeah,
there.
that is a very good Rebecca. I glossed over it in the hope that I wouldn't look dumb by not knowing, not knowing it. But no, but you know, yeah, exactly. That would be it. Like, you know, a panel
Yeah, I
or
mean,
whatever, just to tie it in, going, okay, because it bounces from past to present, and it could be another time slot where it's like, you know, just after Mark is gone, and then you see, or had that been explained in the previous Moon Knight issues? I can't
I
remember.
don't remember. I don't
Yeah.
think explicitly. It was just
Okay.
maybe it was.
Yeah, now I'm thinking maybe it was, but I can't remember. But I just felt that
Someone
was
will
missing.
tell us.
Yeah, please. But
Yeah.
I just felt that was missing here. But
Yeah.
I really did love the face off between Night Shift and, you know,
Yeah.
Waxman. We know all about Waxman. And just escalation. I got really good vibes of you know, the Mike Benson run and Vengeance of the Moon Knight, the original
Yeah.
one, with this whole kind of thing about Moon Knight, like, in the media. Oh, this guy's gone crazy, like he's a terror, he's terrorizing everyone. It really brought back that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of enjoyed it in that sense. The artwork I loved. Again, it harkened back for me.
The only bit I didn't like of
Mhm.
it, and this feels very picky, is I guess some of the art of our main crew. Like I thought Dr. Sturman looked a bit strange,
Okay, let me have a look.
and
I can.
I thought Reese's hair looked strange.
Okay, where? Let me see. Yeah. I mean,
I
eh,
mean, I guess it's because we're so used to seeing them in the other, but overall, like the backgrounds are great.
oh
You know what?
yeah,
The you can really tell it's different colorists, right?
yes. Oh no, for sure. And that's taking
Yeah.
nothing away from this colorist, but
No,
it
no,
actually
no,
it
not at
speaks,
all.
but it
It's
speaks
just
volumes of Rochelle.
such a
Like, you know,
difference. But it's also,
yeah.
but it's sometimes nice to have a big difference. And like sometimes we've had,
Mm,
like every time we've had the new artist on the main run, Rochelle still colored them. So like
yeah,
it's nice to just have a total break. And
yeah, yeah.
yeah, that wasn't a criticism about the different colors. You can really tell because I think
Mm,
some of the color work's still really good. It's just very different.
yeah, it is. Yeah,
Um,
very consistent, very solid, but yeah, very different.
yeah.
It doesn't have that, you know, should I say, like the flair that Rochelle
But I
Rosenberg
mean, like
does kind of
anyone who
bring.
can really do a good wax man is doing good art, you know. So
I
because it's
love that Waxman's
tricky,
just,
yeah.
yeah. There was some really cool, like, hats off
Really
to
nice
Eric.
backgrounds as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The background. we do talk about, don't we, Rebecca, the backgrounds. They do make or
Yes.
break sometimes,
They can
artworks.
really, yeah, because it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
about, building out the world.
Exactly. And like if you have too many panels without backgrounds,
Hmm.
you venture into, this could look like a rush job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
If yeah, but this is fantastic. Yeah, as you're saying, Waxman. I wanted to call out Erica's great, like her descriptions of the fight scenes. Like I loved how this
Yeah.
Shroud Moon Knight, um, he's got that little flamethrower in his gauntlet, and he sets
Yeah.
fire to
I love that.
Tatterdemalian's.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tatterdemalian's hands, and then that burns Waxman. So yeah, he's very is very very crafty, I think.
Yeah.
From there it is. He releases Tatterdemalian. All I remember, Rebecca, is apparently the villain Tatterdemalian is very smelly from the Marvel
Oh, really?
Handbook.
I don't remember. That's
Yeah,
very funny.
like like he's very stinky and bo. So you just imagine having to cop it with he's right up and close and personal. But yeah, he gets fired literally by Moon Knight. Waxman's melting, and Digger takes a long walk off a short, a short plank or whatever you call it. But beautifully drawn. Like
Yeah.
there's enough detail there for everything. I'm just saying, I do see a comment. What have we got here? Oh, Wayne coming in. Each phase of the moon, yet on the cover is a Marvel. Oh, is a Marvel QR code to unlock a new Moon Knight personality.
He's very funny. He's
okay.
joking. Read the whole thing. Read the whole thing.
Which you can then use as a code for their mobile game. Okay, fair enough. Which will then give you a 10% discount on Marvel. Oh, very nice. Only to unveil that Danny Rand is the new Moon Knight, now known as Moon Fist, written by Bendis, art by Liefeld. Wayne, have you got a key into my dreams? Because that just sounds like too good to be true.
Moon Fist would be very funny. I mean, it's the Fist of Khonshu. Like, that's not. We could use Moon Fist. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And Bendis and Liefeld, sign me up.
I mean,
please.
they would be our dream.
They would be a dream. Just endless monologues and no feet.
And lots of pouches.
Lots of pouches. So yeah, I know, Rebecca. Anything else? Oh, actually, it's a little bit on the Shroud's history as well. It reminded me of, dare I say, that one reference Batman.
I mean, that was my parents dying in front of me. Very funny. I mean, not funny.
Yeah.
But then it moves on to training at the Cult of Kali and stuff. So.
I like that, actually, because we know that is very much the Shroud.
That was beautiful art as well.
Yeah,
art.
Awesome.
That page
awesome
is
stuff.
Gorgeous. And it's like a few different styles. And that's what I mean about the colouring. Each of those panels has different colouring. And really nice done.
Yeah, and great panel layout as well. Like it just, I can imagine that. It's really, really well telling the story well. And you get a very heroic Shroud at the back there, like with Night Shift. And I love the character in the sense that, he was very different from other characters. Like he went undercover. It mentions there he was fighting crime from within. And for me, that was very unique about the Shroud. And it was a little disappointing because he's pretty cool that he became kind of bad. But hopefully he'll turn that corner. We never know. Anything else, Rebecca, here that you want to mention? There's a nice little thing.
I think we've done a good job of it.
Yeah, there was a nice little end thing here with this total kind of random guy just coming out the door and meeting Digger, who's kind of amazingly still, conscious.
Still alive.
Yeah. But for me, again, the last bit here, this was really it. This kind of sold me as, okay, now we've hit the point where the Shroud and Moon Knight has built this reputation now. He's come, the fake Moon Knight has built this reputation. And I just got visions of, 2000s and early 2000s Moon Knight. So that was really, that was really good.
Cool.
Yeah. One thing, though, the Shroud is blind, right? I'm correct in that.
I don't know.
I think he is. I tend, because and if there's a little quibble, it tends to look like he's not blind in the way he's been depicted.
Okay, let's have a quick
he's like Daredevil. He he has extra senses. I don't know radar sensors, but he's for all intents
Oh yeah,
blind.
he
I mean,
was blinded by the cult of Carly.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know. It just, I mean, you, I don't want to say how you should depict someone who's blind, but yeah, it just a little bit misleading potentially. But yeah, anyway, that was the Once and Future Moon Knight. Now, Rebecca, before we get into the Crusader, I'm just trying to think. So, Vengeance of the Moon Knight. Oh yeah, okay. Can we talk about Vengeance of the Moon Knight just a little now?
Yeah, let's do Vengeance Moon Knight 8 now.
Okay, I just wanted to say with that, yeah, because I was wondering, oh, what has happened to the Shroud? Like, because he was on the front cover of 8, and so
Do you think
one of
that's
the
the Moon Knight he has to kill?
yes, well, that was the thing, the question at the end. So
I thought about it afterwards as I was reading this. I was like, I wonder
yeah,
if that's it.
yeah. So it was a pretty powerful ending. Like it was Conchu saying, "Okay, I want you to kill Moon Knight," and you're thinking, "What?" But they're talking about the fake, or I can't remember what the words were exactly, but the fake knight. And since the cover showed the Shroud, I'm assuming it's Mark's gonna have to. I reckon he doesn't want to kill Max because they've got a history, but that's
I mean, I don't
conflict.
think he wants to kill any West Coast Avengers generally.
No,
like,
no, exactly. So that's going to be quite the conflict that Mark will have, and that being built up with. I love that little interaction, and again, you mentioned it in your review, Rebecca, of Khonshu reproaching Mark, kind of like Khonshu, like you're not going to call me, whatever,
yeah.
and Moon Knight's just
Very,
off. Yeah.
You call me dad, you mate.
Yeah, and he goes, "Thank you," and he's kind of reminding him, "I did bring you back again." So he's got a huge debt, so to speak, to pay to Khonshu. So if he's asked to kill Max, we'll
I
see
mean,
how
it's
we go.
interesting though, like because does he have a debt? Did he ask Khonshu to resurrect him?
True.
I mean,
Yeah.
or like I'm just flagging that up. He didn't.
Yeah. No.
But I'm obviously he's glad to be alive, so he does have a debt. So
Yeah. Yeah. But you're right. I mean, he didn't. He didn't ask. If
I
anything,
just always find it interesting, like the idea of a debt, and I feel it has to be something that you asked for, but also, I'm not gonna. That's a quibble.
no, hang on. Actually, Rebecca, Khonshu is in their debt anyway. That he got freed, right? So
Yeah, I mean,
So even Stephen, if you ask me,
yeah,
like,
but also the other
yeah.
thing I'm interested to know is,
Mm.
will Hunter's Moon now be fixed? Right, because he
Yeah,
had a
that
mess.
was
Yeah.
yeah, that kind of dropped off a little, didn't it? But that was a thing towards the end of the series, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I would like to think so, but I
yeah,
wonder if
yeah,
it'll.
yeah, yeah. You're right. I mean, Khonshu should be able to kind of. I mean, he's been so loyal to Khonshu, Hunter's
Yeah.
Moon. You'd have to think that Khonshu would kind of quickly iron out those kinks. So,
Yeah.
sorry, Wayne. Yeah, wasn't the Shroud basically a Spider-Man stalker? Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah.
He was. I just remember him more from the West Coast Avengers, like Rebecca mentioned in the 80s. They wanted to recruit him, is that right? But they didn't. And also in Spider-Woman, he appeared in Spider-Woman.
I was in Spider-Woman. Nice.
Yeah, they actually have a like a brief. I don't know if they had a thing, or I think Jess just fancied him. I think there was a.
I mean, she's had a thing with a lot of. She's like the Daredevil of.
Yeah, she is. She's Matt Murdock and Jess. But no, they had a it was a little fun 2-parter in the original series. Yeah,
nice.
Yes. So issue 8, Rebecca. Yeah, that was a big thing for me. The ending and 8 Ball. I think I mentioned as well.
Oh, that's the best.
Yeah, what else? Like, what I'm trying to think. What else big happened in there? Like, they all got split up, right? Khonshu said, "You do this, you do this, you do this." Tigra and Mark were separated again. And it was just Reese and Soldier doing their thing, and
Yeah.
the daylight thing with the vampires.
Oh yeah, that
was
was cool. That was cool, wasn't it? I mean, I'm really
yeah,
interested in that.
yeah, that was pretty good. And
Yeah.
again, the artwork was great with some splashes. So yeah,
Mhm.
interesting. Yeah, my take is of obviously would be the Shroud. They're gonna go get the Shroud. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I didn't really
yeah,
think about it, and then I thought about it. Because it seems very harsh to kill him, but okay.
I know. But I mean, Khonshu, he's a strict dad.
I mean
Someone
he
out
is.
there
He's not.
parading as a
He is a strict dad.
and it's kind of like someone going, "Look, oh, I'm the son of this guy." It's like,
Mhm.
no, I'm not. He's not. He's definitely not. But it's a bit funny though, because the actions of the Shroud, you'd think Khonshu would be happy with, right? I mean, he's all about vengeance, so
Yeah.
he kind of wants more of that from Mark. So you'd think that he would be kind of happy with Max. But anyway, we'll see how we go. Let us turn our attentions to Rebecca. The next part, which is it doesn't. There's no real big splash, but 1200 in England, Crusader.
Mm.
Now this is
Evil
a knight,
Crusaders.
called Cassian,
Doesn't
and you
seem
basically
very
get like a
English, but
and you basically get a rundown of his history and his origin into becoming a Moon Knight. And what I really love about this is the connection to the rest of the Marvel universe with Ensa Nur, which you see.
Yeah, that's really interesting to me because he kills
Hmm.
him, right? Eventually.
Yeah, which is a bit strange because he can't, right? I mean, he's essentially immortal, Apocalypse. So I don't know what happened there. Um, do you know, Rebecca? Or
What?
I mean, like Apocalypse can't die, so I don't know how he got
Right?
his head.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I'm not getting involved in that, but that seems like I just think it's a good story. I think it
yeah,
works as a story in and of itself, and if you try and tie it up to other Marvel things,
yeah.
you're kind of in for. I mean, somebody might know, but maybe he goes into hiding for a bit and comes back. Who knows? But I really enjoyed it. Just I love that
It's
play
good.
on Moon Knight having an actual knight.
Yeah, I love the helmet, the helmet, whatever it
Recognizing
is.
that the Crusaders were just about keeping power for the rich
Mm-hmm.
amid
Yeah.
this sort of holy crusade, which is interesting because here we have it would have been like very Christian, but he doesn't
Mm-hmm.
seem to be. He just seems to be more like he drifted into this. He realizes that he's fighting somebody else's war.
Yes.
He rejects Khonshu, which is we
Yeah,
love.
which is
We love that, right? We
really cool. I love
love
that.
a
I
bit
love
of
that.
Khonshu rejection. You have an amazing
Oh, look at
like
this.
little page of his story, which basically
Mm.
tells the story we're about to hear as well, right? Because
Yeah, exactly.
he
Yeah.
says no,
Yeah.
and then we hear him say, we see the head of so he realizes that En Sabanur is treating people badly, the people of Egypt.
Yep. It's
He's
quite gruesome as well,
It is
Rebecca.
quite gruesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
He accepts Khonshu when he finds out he can't kill him on his own. We have another terrible Deadpool advert
Oh,
page.
yes. Yeah, I
Can't
saw that.
stand them. So he becomes Moon Knight. He kills him, but then as people start to worship him and Khonshu, he starts to reconsider if once again he is
Mhm.
in this thing of just maintaining a power structure.
Yeah, I like it. I like it because Cassian is like a thinker, right? He
Mhm.
really does question, his role in the scheme of things, and he's not just a soldier, so to speak, in the sense that he just follows it. And he just wonders about what he's doing, his own actions, and I like that self reflection in him for someone that is so kind of, for want of a better word, bloodthirsty, like as a killer, like as a knight, as a almost like a mercenary. Um, is very aware of stuff and what his values are, and that to me makes him quite interesting.
Mhm.
Um, I absolutely love the artwork from Rod Reyes. I think he just
I mean, like,
blows it out of the park.
I think his artwork is amazing.
Oh, it's
So
just it's hard to explain if for podcast listeners if you haven't
it's
seen his
very
stuff.
different from
Oh,
almost
it's
any other artist. You can tell immediately it's him, and it
mm.
is just beautiful.
There's a bit of God, what am I'm losing a note. There's a bit of Phil Noto,
Mhm.
in his artwork, but even then, like it's not like he's just copying Phil's stuff. He's got his definite style, and it's just so beautiful. And again, exceptional colors, I think as well.
Beautiful.
We get with the blood red with all this death and destruction. His whole kind of all his comrades kind of impaled actually
Mhm.
with an A on there. But then if I go back to in the temple, but in the sandstorm here, when he first kind of sees a little bit
Just
of
it's
Khonshu,
gorgeous. That one of those middle
oh
ones where it almost looks like fireworks. It's just gorgeous.
yeah, it just the splatter, like just all these
Mhm.
effects that Rod Reyes puts in, and then inside with the cold kind of blue filter, and you can kind of almost feel the cold stone in the temple and the light.
Mhm.
Just really, really evocative, and this kind of hieroglyphic kind of page is phenomenal. So, really, I love the art. The story I thought was really interesting as well, and I love
It's something a
the
bit
little
different. I mean, you can tell
yeah,
the elevator pictures. What if we made him a knight, and then it
yeah,
moves from there? And I kind of love that. So yeah,
yeah,
it's just I think it's really good.
yeah. And the little scarab beetle he has is just kind of like it's kind of like the genie in the bottle. It's like if you ever you
Mhm.
need just to say the word and you'll be turning into Moon Knight. So he
Yeah.
obviously tries to beat
It's like a
yeah
little yeah, it's like his little pager. So you just page
yeah
me
exactly.
and
It's that kind of trope, isn't it, Rebecca? Of like
yeah.
here's my phone at any time. Just call me and I'll
Yeah,
be
yeah.
there in a
I
flash.
really want you to be my Moon Knight. I'm
Yeah,
like
yeah.
struggling to find anyone.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I mean, I thought was full on kick ass was that once he does convert to Moon Knight as well, he goes toe to toe against Apocalypse. And
Yeah, it's
that
amazing.
is no, slight
No.
thing. So again, yeah, Rebecca, maybe my brain just immediately went into deflection mode of okay, maybe this is just not the continuity.
Mm.
Maybe this is another Apocalypse because it did throw me a bit, but it doesn't take away from the ending. Beautiful heroic stance at the end, just love it. The mask is, as you said, Rebecca, so similar to, I guess, like the helmets and stuff of
Mhm.
Templars, and really good.
I
And then
really
them
like
just
it.
yeah, and then them worshiping him, and him just going, "Oh God, have I?" Cassian could not help but wonder if he
Mm.
had become the very thing he hated.
Love.
Yeah, and that's a
Always
curse,
love
right?
that.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's like he's cursed. So yeah, brilliant stuff. Um, I don't know, Rebecca. If there's unless there's anything else you'd like to add to this, do you want to give it a
I
rate?
think oh yeah, I'll give this one I think
Oh,
solid 8 actually.
yeah, this
Yeah.
issue. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I forgot
I'd
we
be
had
hard.
to rate things. But yeah, cool.
I'd be hard pressed not to follow suit, Rebecca. I think the artwork for me, I mean, not that the stories were bad or anything, but I think the artwork really has elevated the
Mhm.
experience of this comic. So yeah, it goes up, a couple points for that.
I just
Um,
love and I'm really looking forward to the rest of the series. I wasn't sure what we were gonna get, so
mm. Yeah, me
uh
too. And I've got to say as well, because this comes in at 33 pages. This is on this digital copy that I've got. So that is why it felt that's a good what?
yeah.
16, 17 pages. That's a decent story, right? We're not talking
Mhm.
10 pages here.
Yeah.
So I felt, I don't want to say like bang for buck. Like I felt like, wow, really did.
Yeah, no, I
This
think
felt satisfying. Yeah,
it was good. It was they felt like complete stories, like you said. I mean, I think that was the important
yeah,
thing.
yeah. I mean, if we are to compare it to something, if I'm to go back to, was it Fist of Khonshu, Rebecca? I think it's Zero. That was
Yeah.
like, I mean, for any experienced, seasoned Moon Knight fan, that probably would have left you feeling a little flat because it was just basically a summary of Moon Knight. So that really I didn't leave feeling any sense of fulfillment, but this one was really good. Really loved it, art wise, everywhere. So I'd give it an 8 as well. So Looney listeners, pretty good. Oh, sorry, we got a couple. Sorry, Wayne. Sorry, I missed you here. After Vengeance of the Moon Knight, I'd love a decent 8-ball series. Oh, it would be good to
look,
delve.
if Jed has to have a little mini series in him.
Yeah, a little mini. Or Rebecca, there was an annual that came out as well, wasn't there? Moon Knight annual.
That was last week. We're gonna cover that at some point. So
we'll do that. I was about to say though, a backup story in an annual would be probably good for 8-ball, a little 8-ball jaunt, with his rocket launching Q stick. We don't know. So listeners, go check it out. I'd highly recommend this. It's really good. Phases of the Moon Knight, and excited to see what we have next. Rebecca, just before we wrap things up, I just wanted to give a huge shout out to all the loonies that are continually posting stuff in the social media platforms and on Discord. Thank you so much for keeping the community up vibe and interesting as well. We've got something here from Mario for this particular issue. And Mario says, I'm not a huge fan of the first story's take on the Shroud. He seemed a lot less delusional and a lot more driven in Vengeance of the Moon Knight. As for the second story, what do you reckon, Rebecca?
I actually liked it because I think like delusion is something that can ebb and flow. But it's interesting. So I can see why you would think that.
Yeah, no, definitely for sure. And Mario continues, as for the second story, historical or possibly parallel universe stories have never really been my bag, but I suppose it was decent enough. It reminded me a bit of Exodus, the mutant zealot. Yes. Rebecca,
I love alternate universes though, so I'm like the opposite of Mario in that respect. I just genuinely just thought it was beautiful and enjoyed it a lot. So I didn't have the same issue with that. But I think they are valid criticisms. These aren't going to be stories that are for everyone, and that's not a criticism of Mario. That's just they're not. And it's interesting.
I mean, hopefully Phases of the Moon Knight will be diverse enough
hopefully
anyway
there'll
to have
be some other stuff that
Rebecca, we might get a Jonathan Hickman space outing with Moon Knight in
the
year 5000.
A few more Moon Knight werewolves would be appreciated.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I'll take
Moon Knight werewolves. Also, bit more of Tigra, Moon Knight, maybe. Side story.
Why not?
Or actually,
a date. Why not? Let's do it. Another date. We've had one date. Another one.
It's another one. Yeah.
You can have as many dates as you want.
Yeah, but without taking too much away from obviously the cast that Jed has introduced, maybe Marlene. We have seen Marlene and Frenchie in one of the annuals, right? It was that Werewolf by Night, Moon Knight kind of annual. You could see more of the old crew as well. That'll be good.
I mean, look, always up for seeing more of the old crew, but I just don't know if we're going to.
No, and more more God stuff. I think that's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So so there you go, listeners. Go check it out. It is definitely worth it. Rebecca, Spectacle. Before I forget, any shout outs you want to make with where listeners or viewers can find you?
Mostly on Twitter or Blue Sky as Arbitrary Genius. And we've just done our final DCAU podcast of the year for Watchmen Part 1, Volume 1, cool. Episode 1, whatever it's called.
Yeah, keep an eye out for that. What is that, about a week out from release or something then, Rebecca?
A week or two. It'll be within the next couple of weeks,
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, we'll go check it out as well. Rebecca on social media is very good. And on the Discord in Into the Night as well, you can catch her there. Yeah, you're a lot more frequent in there than I am, Rebecca. I should get more into that myself.
I try.
Yeah.
I try and pop in every couple of days in case I missed anything, but especially around comics release.
Yes. Yeah. You can catch me. Look, I'm so happy to be back at ITK and to chat with you, Rebecca, as well. It's just just very, I don't know,
It's just nice. It feels
comfortable.
normal again, right?
That's
There's another issue this week as well. So.
Oh, okay. Just when we think we're on top of things,
or next week there's another one, but we've got the annual as well. So
yeah, we'll cover that. I can't wait. Where did we? I love our little tangents. Where did we go today? We went off to talk. Oh yeah, about what if.
What if? Yeah.
So,
this is why when we do a solo episode, they're so short.
But awesome stuff. I'll be around the traps. I'll have a Predator and Prey. Hello. For those that don't know,
his new friend doesn't want to play with him. So
I'm gonna keep that cryptic. So for the podcast listeners, they have no idea what's going on. Check out the video. There's a link to the video.
It's all about Mark.
It's all about. But yeah, was this? Oh yeah, I'll be on Predator and Prey. We recorded with the whole crew the latest Predator episode where we talk about Predator versus Black Panther. So that is
that's
interesting. Oh, I've got to say, sans Justin, of course. Sorry, Justin wasn't able to make it, but the other two, Russell and Sparky, were all there. We were guns a-blazing. That's a lot of fun. Check that out, coming out soon. I'll be on Capes and Lunatics International at the end of every month. At the beginning of the month. So yeah, so you got a while to go. But yeah, just happy to be back on ITK, and yeah, thank you so much for listening, everybody. And Rebecca, thank you.
Thank you. It's nice to speak to you.
Yeah, you too.
Have a good week, and we'll try and do it again soon.
Oh, absolutely. We've got some issues to get through. Thanks, listeners, and as always, may Khonshu watch over the denizens of the night. Catch you later.
Bye.